All right, thank you very much, guys. We are back. That is the second part of that group qualified. It is now Pandemic Legion. It is now Hydra. While that match was on, we had our next guest in, Dr. Ayo. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me over.
I think we've had you on before.
Not on an Alliance tournament, actually.
Never?
That's
All
my
right.
first time on an Alliance tournament.
Okay. Well,
Proud to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. For the people who are not aware of what you do at CCP, what do you do here?
I basically have two hats. I'm the lead economist for EVE Online and the director of research and statistics. So we are a team of people that do nothing but try to understand behavior within EVE.
Which is, of course, one of the most interesting places to watch people. It is a fun place. And you've also been very involved in one of the projects, the CSM, where you've probably met Mr. Sastro before.
Mr. Sastro I met before, and he was an impressive candidate for the Council of Stellar Management and a good representative once he was on the council. Yeah, the Council of Stellar Management was a project we started back in 2007, 2008. And it was decided as, while it was being tested, researched, to have it in my unit. So we've been running it within my unit for about 3 years now, but have decided that it has reached its maturity and it's going to be a fundamental part of our customer relations. So we moved it to a unit where we have all our customer relations together. Okay. Community, ISD, the volunteer program. The CSM and customer support, where we can understand the different aspects of the communication with our customers.
So for a lot of game companies, future development, all that stuff is kept kind of secret. What was the reason that we started this? Why did we decide to pull these players in and show them all this?
I think the major reason is the simple success of EVE. It was growing so fast. When we were up to 100,000 players, just listening to everyone trying to understand what's going on is quite difficult. And the forums can be used to get a certain message across, can we say that? And so you want to be able to have different channels into the community, and we have always looked at EVE as a universe. I mean, we don't really see it as a game per se. It's of course a fun environment to participate, but it's truly a universe of its own. And why wouldn't we allow the members of that community, the members of that universe, to come closer to us and tell us about what's going on? We also have very strict policies for our employees on how they can play the game. They cannot play the game at high level. So we needed communication into the group that plays the high level EVE game. So the idea of having a democratically voted council that would simply come in and we would open up, so to speak, our hearts to them, to show them what is going on in the future, might be an interesting experiment.
What have been some of the really, really good results and bad results from bringing these players in?
I have not seen any bad results from bringing the players in. There has been some interesting moments, so to speak, where we are learning on both sides how we can actually use this tool. In terms of the good moments, when I look back at the past 3 years, I would say that the good moments are when they come over here to visit us here in the Icelandic office. We are sitting down on meetings for 3 full days, where communication about EVE is at a very high and intense level, I would want to say it. So looking back, it's just really about having this communication that are really truly the good moments. Now, if you want to mention something specific, I truly feel that the CSM5 did a lot of groundbreaking work in terms of describing and defining how we can actually communicate through this. It was a challenge at times, but that challenge was met, and I think CSM6 will be a very good one based on the groundwork that all the others have done, including 4, 3, and 2, and 1.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to having them up again and seeing the guys at CSM6. We've met with them, as you mentioned, a month ago, and we'll see. I think it's going to end up very, very good.
Yes, I'm really, really positive about that. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how it evolves in the future. Nobody else has done it in this way before. Yeah. Of course, we always do things differently here at CCP, so it will be fun, and it will be constantly evolving over time.
All right. If we just take a minute to go back to the match, actually just before the match, we do still have a lot of contests going on. The next contest is for an EVE battleship model. It's coming up on screen now. It's another Predict the Winner. It is for our 1920 match, -10 versus Darkside. These models are very beautiful. We have one right next to Michael Bolton. They are not worth $10,000, but you should imagine they are because they just look like a $10,000 item. Michael Bolton showcasing it. Could you rub it slightly? Good. All right, so last match, Shurikan Hydra Reloaded. There was a bit of surprise in the room when we saw the Widow.
Yeah, I don't know how that Widow was fit, but just thinking about it, I'm not really sure there could be any fit for that team that would really make that expenditure of points worthwhile.
What were you thinking? I don't know. I mean, why didn't you have more Rooks, more Kitsunes in there? If you were going to field an ECM team, have those Kitsunes in there for quick locks, those Kereses on the other side made that Widow probably pretty much useless. That's why we saw him close up as close as it did to try to get some jams in. But then, of course, it drifted right into the nuke range and probably wasn't able to get any jams off whatsoever before it got killed.
Yeah, the choice of the Widow was pretty derp, I think, overall.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange choice as well because we've seen so many teams do ECM well. So it's not like it's some secret recipe you have to reinvent. Just like look at the match before.
Yeah.
But then again, as we have said, ECM teams aren't actually that strong. They just look strong. But when you're facing an opponent like Hydra, who of course came second last year, possible winner for this year, and when they field a strong team as they did with long range Sleipnirs, probably artillery's fit by the sounds of it at least, and that stopping power of that flagship Balgorn in there. There wasn't much at all that the Ushrakan was able to do.
I actually think the more interesting story about that match was why Hydra Reloaded choose to field that flagship. Because I honestly think the Hydra team didn't feel particularly threatened by the Ushrakan team. It wasn't like a really clincher match that they were like really concerned about. Although I don't think they wanted to fight Pandemic Legion tomorrow with a loss and have to win the match.
I was just about to say it is kind of the clincher match, kind of, because if they win this one, they're basically secured their place into the final instead of having to go through PL.
Yeah.
So it might have just been a question of saying we need to win this match. Let's just throw out everything.
Throw everything in there.
Yeah, it was extremely important match for Hydra Reloaded, especially fighting against Ushrakan, who is, you know, a little bit weaker team perhaps than other teams in the same bracket. It was an important match for them to win. The reason why I think they chose to field the Balgorn, of course, is that it has a lot of stopping power. And what we have traditionally seen Ushrakan do is run rush setups. So when you're running a long range Sleipnir team, you need some stopping power, either be it Curses or be it Hugins, and the Balgorn of course has both. And that Balgorn was probably fit with officer webs, and it just get ridiculous range on those webs.
But yeah, and I mean it turned out to be unusually one-sided, which probably was a bit of a shame, but
however, one point that I would make is Ushrakan made a big deal yesterday on the forums about ECM and how unfair and uncool and unhonorable it was, and here they are with an ECM only team.
that is true. I did notice they had a very angry oh, ECM is the worst way to win, and then they did it badly.
They get stumped in the face.
All right.
Maybe they were bluffing a bit.
Maybe it was just a diversion tactic that they think no one.
Sounds like it, they were trying to bluff the other team.
Yeah. So some of the teams we've seen right now, I don't know if we can get the groups up, but Group D is qualified. That's Hydra and Pandemic. E, Bane, and Black Legion are actually qualified, but the rest of the groups are still relatively open. We'll take a look at those when we come back after this match. It is AAA versus Raiden. Let's get some predictions.
I'm going to go with Against All Authorities because Raiden is really crippled by their inability to bring super caps to the match.
Raiden's gonna win, no doubt.
Dr. quick.
AAA.
AAA. I think I'm going to jump. I got disappointed by Raiden not winning yesterday, but you know what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to jump on Raiden. Let's see.